In 1981, Kenny helps manage a gold mining business with his father. Their family has been involved in gold mining for generations, ever since Kenny's grandfather discovered a mine nearly 100 years ago. On one particular day, Kenny brings his girlfriend Kay to show her the work he does. She seems to have expected something different, like big machines and lots of people digging. But Kenny gently explains how their business works. They don't dig randomly. First, they spend time and effort studying locations around the world. After that, they collect money from investors, and only then can they begin mining with the hope of finding gold. Later, Kenny gives Kay a gold watch as a gift, and she is clearly moved.
Kenny,
You like it?
I love you.
Their deep connection and affection for each other is obvious. Later that same day, Kenny has a conversation with his father, who shares wisdom gained from years in the mining business. He explains how difficult this kind of work can be and reminds Kenny that he will eventually have to take full control of the company.
Scale it up. Make it yours.
The story then jumps ahead 7 years. A lot has changed. The company is now struggling, nearly falling apart. Kenny and Kay are now married, but they are dealing with serious financial problems. Their business has become so unstable that they now operate it from a bar instead of an actual office.
I gotta tell you, this offering, it's already oversubscribed.
On top of all this, Kenny's father has passed away, leaving Kenny to face the company's problems on his own. Because of their money troubles, Kenny and Kay have moved into a small house after selling their larger home. Despite all the setbacks, Kenny still has some hope left. Even though he doesn't own any mines, his job is to search for possible sites where gold might be found. His work includes convincing investors to fund the digging and handling all the expenses. Recently, he and his team discovered a location that seemed promising. Kenny tries to meet with a potential investor, but the man refuses to see him. Instead, the investor sends 2 employees to speak with Kenny. Although this upsets Kenny, he still shares all the details about the mining site and how much funding they need.
But if you have a look at the geo, you'll see a very promising shell formation that hasn't been tapped yet.
Without much consideration, the employees reject his proposal. Kenny's financial situation, already bad, becomes even worse. With this final rejection, his company is close to shutting down. He tries calling everyone he knows to ask for help, but nothing works.
You know, there's still minerals out there. We just gotta find them, right?
Feeling hopeless, he drinks heavily and passes out. Through all of this, Kay stays by his side. No matter how poor or lost Kenny becomes, she continues to support him without question. One night, Kenny has a powerful dream. In it, he sees the mountains of Indonesia and a geologist named Michael Acosta. In the dream, the 2 of them discover a gold mine together and dig up gold.
Here's what they call a river walker. They're a real hands-on geologist, real deal.
The dream feels so real that it completely changes Kenny's mindset. Michael Acosta is well known in the field of geology. He was the person who discovered the largest copper mine in Asia. Michael also has a theory, which he calls the Ring of Fire, that suggests a huge gold deposit may exist in a certain part of Indonesia. However, no one has taken his idea seriously before.
That's why I'll find the gold.
As soon as Kenny wakes up, he feels determined to find Mike and convince him to search for gold together. Interestingly, at that very moment, Kay gently suggests that maybe Kenny should look for another kind of job.
Yeah, but it'd just be temporary till the market turns.
But Kenny doesn't say much. He quietly prepares for a trip to Indonesia, even selling some of his gold jewelry to pay for the trip.
But if you knew that feeling, you'd know.
Once there, he checks into the same hotel where Michael Acosta is staying. When the 2 finally meet, Michael immediately sees that Kenny is in a desperate situation, though Michael himself is also struggling financially. Kenny confidently shares his plan with Michael. He says they should work together to find gold. Based on Michael's Ring of Fire theory, Kenny says he believes in the idea with his whole heart and is willing to take a huge risk. He tells Michael he's ready to lose everything if it doesn't work.
You tell me where you want to dig, Mikey, and I'll make goddamn sure the bills are paid.
At first, Michael calls Kenny crazy and tries to walk away, but then he changes his mind and asks Kenny if he brought any hat.
Do you have a hat, Wells?
Soon after, Michael leads Kenny through a river and into a dense jungle area deep in the mountains. This is the exact spot Michael believes could hold gold. Local people live there and search for gold in the river, but they don't have proper tools or the expertise to dig deeper. When Kenny sees the place, he is shocked. It looks exactly like the one from his dream.
Wilson. Well, we're here. This jungle will test you.
The two men sit down to talk about what it will take to start mining. Michael warns Kenny that things in Indonesia are not like America. They will need official permissions, workers, and heavy machinery. He says there's a chance they might find nothing at all and lose everything. Still, he agrees to go forward. Kenny asks how much money they'll need to get started. Michael estimates around $750 to start with up to $1 million.
$750 to start.
Okay.
Kenny quickly writes up a simple deal on a napkin. If they find gold, they split the profits equally. If they fail, they share the loss. Michael agrees and signs it, and Kenny tells him to keep the napkin safe. Kenny returns to America and begins working hard to raise the money.
No, Acosta. Michael Acosta. It's the largest copper strike in history, and that's the guy. Thank you for telling the story. I'm writing down the story. It's you.
Michael stays in Indonesia to prepare for the mining. The costs are very high, but Kenny somehow manages to raise most of it. It's not close to $750, but Kenny hopes Mike can make it work with what they raised.
It's not exactly the number I had in mind, Wells.
Well, look, that's it. Can you make it work?
I can't make anything work.
Just 1 week later, Kenny flies back to Indonesia to join Michael, and they begin the mining process. At first, both men feel excited and hopeful. They crush rocks and send samples to a lab to be tested for gold. But the first test results are disappointing. No gold is found. Time goes by, more samples are tested, but the results remain the same.
Bird with no feet sleeps in the wind.
You remember what I told you about patience?
Yeah, you remember what I told you about money?
Kenny starts feeling hopeless, though Michael keeps telling him patience is key. Soon after, Kenny becomes seriously ill with malaria. At the same time, many of the workers decide to leave the site because they are no longer getting paid. Kenny begs them to stay, but there is no money left for them to stay for. In the end, only Michael and Kenny remain at the site. Kenny's condition worsens. Michael says they may have to stop everything, but Kenny refuses to quit. He hands over his last bit of money to Michael and asks him to do whatever he can. Instead of leaving, Michael goes to a nearby village where the workers are from. He meets with an elder and explains their situation. He promises they will soon find gold, but the elder shows him that their children are sick and they don't even have clean water. Michael uses the last of their funds to buy water filters and helps the village get clean drinking water. Because of this kind act, the workers agree to return to the mining site.
You know what? The workers came back.
Meanwhile, Kenny lies unconscious for several days due to his illness. When he finally wakes up, his first concern is whether they found any gold. Michael explains that 14 test reports have come back, and all of them show no trace of gold. Kenny feels completely defeated.
I'm good. I'm good.
But just as he starts to give up, Michael reveals that one final report has just arrived, and this one shows that gold has finally been found. Kenny is overwhelmed with happiness.
What are you saying, Mike?
We gotta strike him.
Gotta go, Mike?
We gotta go, Mike.
He jumps up with joy, finally believing that their long and painful journey has paid off. A loud cry of pure victory fills the air. At that moment, everything changed for Washoe Mining Inc. The news spreads like wildfire. Gold has been discovered in the rough and wild lands of Indonesia. This is not just gossip or speculation. It's a bold and powerful announcement that catches everyone's attention. The discovery makes headlines and quickly pulls in many eager investors. Drawn by the scent of enormous profits, they rush in, completely forgetting the doubts they once had about Kenny Wells.
We reach 500,000 subscribers, and they'd all love to know what you got cooking over there in Indonesia.
Any message you'd like to give to the readers of Gold Digger magazine?
Kenny's story, a mix of determination, risk, and unexpected fortune, appears in major newspapers across the country. Almost overnight, Washoe became widely known. An investor who had once coldly turned down Kenny's desperate request now also comes back, this time with a polite tone, asking for a partnership.
He always spoke very highly of you, Clive.
And you pulled in 2 more to confirm those findings?
3 more.
The roles are now reversed. Kenny, although still hurt from that earlier rejection, realizes he now needs more funds if he wants to turn his rough jungle operation into a global mining empire.
And a lot of people are going to want to make this deal. But history's on our side.
He agrees to the man's offer. This time, the investor sees endless opportunities instead of risks. A deal is made, and their business partnership officially begins.
Well, let's quit standing around here and go make some goddamn money, huh?
That sounds good to me.
Things start moving quickly. With the new investment, Kenny buys a piece of land for himself and Kay, hoping to build a better life. He also sets up sleek, modern office spaces in Jakarta for his growing team, showing off the company's rising success.
Oh, nice work, Todd.
Within a few days, a large and exciting offer arrives from a prestigious New York bank. This deal confirms that Washoe Mining Inc. is now part of the global business world.
This is Brian Wolf at Brown Thomas in New York.
Well, that sounds outstanding, Brian. And let me tell you something. I'm looking forward to it.
Gold mining operations become even more intense. Kenny, calling from Indonesia, connects with Mike, and together they fly to New York City to meet powerful financial people on Wall Street.
Now, if the numbers keep coming in good, the sky is the limit on this thing.
There, a bank manager named Brian offers them a very attractive deal. The bank wants to buy a large portion of Washoe, especially the incredibly valuable gold mine.
What exactly does that mean?
I'd like you both to consider bringing on a strategic partner.
Washoe has history.
We've done a fairly thorough analysis of Washoe.
But Kenny, still emotionally attached to the mine, something he earned through pain and persistence, firmly refuses. He believes this mine is his miracle, and he won't let anyone take a piece of it.
I said no a second ago. You want to invest? We got the gold. We can talk about it.
Brian doesn't argue loudly. Instead, he calmly explains that big investors need something real to believe in. He wants them to see the gold with their own eyes before they commit with their offer.
Whoever needs to kick the tires on this thing, I would take them on a little trip up the river.
Kenny, feeling confident about what they've found, agrees and welcomes them to visit. The following week, a group of cautious investors travels with Kenny to the Indonesian jungle. As soon as they see the actual gold glimmering in the dirt, all their questions vanish. Their uncertainty turns into belief.
You boys want to see some gold.
Feel more like this? You can pay Wall Street.
They decide to invest a massive $20 million in Washoe and also purchase shares. Washoe quickly rises to the top, becoming one of the most promising mining companies in the world. Kenny's dream is finally coming to life. To celebrate the incredible success, the company hosts a lavish party. But with this celebration comes the dark side of sudden wealth. Kay, who has been by Kenny's side from the beginning, watches from the sidelines, her heart heavy. She sees how the man she once loved is slowly changing. With power and money now surrounding him, Kenny becomes fascinated with a new woman named Rachel, who clearly only cares about riches.
Rachel Hill. Giants fan.
Rachel. So what do you do, Rachel Hill?
And discover something that everybody wants. How does that feel?
This public betrayal cuts Kay deeply. A heated argument follows where Kay shares the painful truth she sees. People around Kenny are only there for the money, and once it disappears, so will they. But Kenny, full of pride and blinded by his ego, lets her walk away without stopping her.
Oh, great. Go ahead. Yeah. Pack your shit, run back to your shitty life, huh? You never believed in me, did you?
This moment reveals what his success has truly cost him. In her place, Kenny chooses Rachel, not realizing she's only drawn to his wealth. As days pass, he continues spending money without care, falling deeper into a luxury lifestyle. Not long after, a new figure appears. Mark Hancock, a well-known and very powerful mining tycoon, arrives to meet Kenny.
You know, this son of a bitch here, he controls more gold than anybody on the goddamn planet.
His company is one of the strongest in the industry, but Kenny, feeling proud of his own achievements, brushes off the meeting's first impression, and he doesn't take Hancock seriously.
This is how it happens, huh?
A few days later, an unexpected proposal comes to the New York bank. Hancock wants to become a partner in Kenny's mine and offers a staggering amount of money. But Kenny sees it as an insult. He refuses the offer, even though it would give him $300 million.
Hey, you may say yes, you may say no, but it's not like anybody's trying to offend you.
You took our pumpkin name. You took my name off it.
Brian, the bank manager, is frustrated with Kenny's decision. But Mark Hancock is not someone who accepts rejection lightly. Very soon, the consequences arrive. It becomes clear that the Indonesian government has decided to shut down Kenny's mine. This shocking order is believed to be pushed by Hancock's influence and power. The closure is a huge disaster for Washoe. Back in Indonesia, Mike calls Kenny with frustration and disappointment in his voice.
What happened at the meeting, Kenny?
Listen, Mike, they were trying to push us out.
He blames Kenny for challenging a man as dangerous as Hancock and tells him they are now paying the price.
So Hardwick can do whatever the he wants.
Mike!
Kenny, what's going on? What is going on?
These people are killers. Hancock first among them.
Days pass, and Mike finally returns from Indonesia to confront Kenny in person. Their first meeting explodes into a fierce argument, full of blame and emotion. Mike openly holds Kenny's pride responsible for losing their valuable mine.
Moron.
But as their anger slowly fades, a chilling truth surfaces. Mike confesses something shocking. His original story about the Ring of Fire was never completely real. He had been hired to find gold, but failed. Instead of admitting failure, he created a fake tale about a mysterious, untouched place full of gold. Because the jungle was so difficult to work in, his first employer gave up without checking deeply. Mike managed to walk away without being exposed. Then, Kenny came into the picture. Somehow, despite all odds, they actually found real gold in the same area Mike had invented. It was a miracle.
The place you guys stuck.
I got lucky.
I've been looking for gold and found a friend.
With his deep understanding of Indonesia's politics and culture, Mike comes up with one last desperate plan. The only person who might be able to help them is Denny Suwandi, the son of the country's leader. Denny is famous for his love of fun, money, and corrupt deals. Mike believes that if they appeal to his greed and pride, Denny might be able to reopen the mine. They approach Denny, who listens to their request with interest. However, he asks for something shocking in return. Knowing that Hancock is also trying to get the mine, Denny demands a massive share of it, 85% for himself. This would leave Kenny and Mike with only 15%, a very small piece of their own project.
85-15 split. If you have the balls.
Although the deal is unfair, they have no better option. With everything at risk, they agree. But Denny isn't done. He adds one final strange requirement. He owns a large, fearsome tiger, and he says the deal will only be confirmed if one of them enters the cage and survives. Without hesitation, and driven by everything he has already gone through, Kenny steps forward. He enters the cage and, surprisingly, does the quest without any harm. The risky and bizarre test is passed. Even though the price is enormous, they now have control of the mine again. Back in New York, as the bank reviews its records, a shocking discovery is made. Brian, the manager who once supported Kenny, is found to have secretly worked with Mark Hancock to shut down the mine. This betrayal gets him fired immediately. For Kenny and Washoe, with the mine under control again, things seem to be turning around. In a rare moment of reflection, Kenny decides to go back to Kay and try to fix their relationship. But when he finds her with another man, something inside him quietly breaks. Without saying a word, he turns around and walks away, carrying the silent weight of everything he has lost. A few days later, Kenny receives an invitation to speak at a well-known event celebrating his unexpected rise to success. Standing before a large audience, he gives a deeply emotional speech, speaking from the heart about his tough past and the unbelievable accomplishments he had made. His words carry raw honesty as he shares the pain, hope, and determination behind his journey. But as the applause begins to rise, Mike slips out of the room quietly and unnoticed. That moment becomes the last time Kenny ever sees him.
That's Prospector.
The next morning, Kenny walks into a nightmare. As he approaches his office, he sees a massive, furious crowd waiting outside the building. These are the same investors who once believed in him and his company, Washoe Mining. Now they are filled with rage and disappointment. They yell cruel words, threats, and accusations. Their anger grows louder, and the situation feels like it could turn violent. Kenny pushes through the crowd, shaken and confused, and finally gets inside the office. But what he discovers inside is far worse than the chaos outside. The horrifying truth is revealed. All the gold they thought they had found wasn't actually from a deep underground mine. It was river gold, real gold, but placed there on purpose to fake a massive discovery. This gold had simply been planted, tricking everyone into thinking it was a valuable natural deposit. In reality, the company was unknowingly involved in a complicated scam.
It is the oldest trick in the book.
Oldest trick in the book. Everyone was fooled.
We weren't fooled. We just didn't look.
Kenny, who believed in the mine completely, had no idea. No one had questioned the reports or done a deep investigation because the excitement over potential wealth had blinded everyone. Right after this shocking discovery, a panicked phone call brings even worse news. Mike had just sold all of Washoe Mining's shares in the stock market. In a single move, the entire company collapsed. All the money vanished, and the truth of a carefully planned fraud became clear.
How much?
164 million. What are we gonna do?
Shortly after, Washoe Mining Inc., once seen as a rising success, is immediately shut down by the FBI. Now seen as a liar and a fraud in the eyes of the public, Kenny faces a swarm of reporters. He admits that the gold wasn't real, but insists that he had no part in the deception. He was just as shocked and hurt as everyone else. With Mike nowhere to be found, suspicion turns toward him. Kenny, devastated, is left with nothing. Everything he worked for, everything he dreamed of, is gone.
Hey, man, can I talk to you for a minute, please? Look, I just want to know where my money went. Come on.
The next day, FBI agents arrive. They tell Kenny that since he never sold his own shares, he isn't being charged for the fraud. In many ways, he is considered a victim, but the truth is still incredibly hard to accept. Kenny finds it impossible to believe that Mike, his trusted partner, the one who had cared for him when he was sick and never showed signs of betrayal, could be behind such a huge lie. But he can't deny what's being presented. The FBI shows him clear, detailed evidence. $160 million had been taken from the company and secretly moved through different international bank accounts. These accounts were created to be untraceable. The last place Mike had been seen was in Indonesia. According to their report, the Indonesian military had captured him and were transporting him in a helicopter. But during the flight, he was reportedly thrown out and killed.
1,000 feet up, over the Consana. Mike Acosta takes a header.
Kenny, overwhelmed and heartbroken, refuses to believe this version of events. He insists that Mike faked his death, that he was clever enough to plan it all and disappear with the money. He is sure Mike did this to escape the world and hide forever. But the FBI shows him solid proof. A post-mortem report that confirms that Mike's body was found in the dense jungle by the military. Now, with no charges officially filed against him, Kenny is released. He leaves the situation crushed, both emotionally and financially. Everything he built is gone, and the only thing he has left is the painful memory of a broken friendship. Eventually, Kenny returns to Kay, the one person who had truly cared for him through everything. When she sees him, tired and defeated, her face lights up with quiet happiness. Despite everything, she still feels something strong, so she lets him in. As they reconnect, Kay gives Kenny a stack of letters that arrived while he was away. He slowly opens one of them. Inside, he finds something unexpected, a wrinkled napkin. It is the same one he and Mike had signed together long ago, their 50-50 contract, a symbol of their partnership and dreams. But there's something else folded with it, a check for $82 million. It's clear now, Mike was alive after all. He had not completely betrayed Kenny. Instead, after pulling off the massive fraud, he had honored their deal and sent Kenny his rightful half. Then, He disappeared completely, leaving behind no trace. He had become a ghost, slipping away with the money and leaving Kenny with the final piece of their impossible story. And so, in the quiet that follows such a bold and heartbreaking adventure, the tale of gold, dreams, loyalty comes to a close, and Kenny smiles being the winner by the end.